I want to tell you a story about my inner healing and deliverance and how important it is that we deal with strongholds in our life. A stronghold is a thought system or a belief system that we rehearse over and over again until it becomes true or feels true, or it becomes a new truth in our lives. It's a lens that we live from. For instance, for example, all Christians are hypocrites can be a lens that you live from. And that lens can cripple you from getting into good covenant relationships that grow you and mature you. And so strongholds cause a hold. They cause a hold that the enemy has on you. And so if you believe or feel like the enemy has a hold in places and spaces of your life, the key to your deliverance is a new truth. The key to your deliverance is God coming and speaking a word that he speaks over you. And the key is to knowing God and knowing his purpose in your life, in that situation, in that lens. And so my story was that many years ago, we lost a child, Rebecca. She only lived to be 10 days old. But at the time that we lost her, we were actually in a season of being out of God's will. We know that in hindsight, and so once we had moved there, we fasted and prayed, and the Lord restored us to going back to where he wanted us to be. But part of the stronghold that formed in my mind and heart was that I carried a guilt for losing our daughter because we had moved out of God's will, and because she was born into a government hospital and she didn't get the best medical care. Part of that heaviness I carried. And so in my inner healing, and I didn't even know, that's the thing about strongholds. You don't always know that you're living from that place. Some may say it's your subconscious way of living. You don't know when a stronghold exists, right? You don't always know. And so you have to be very intentional about knowing where they are. And so I had a session of inner healing and deliverance. And what Jesus showed me is he went back into that memory of when I lost her, and he showed me a vision of himself. And he showed me that time was written in his hands. And so what that did was it set me free, because in a moment of truth, he came and said to me that, my girl, it was time for Rebecca to go. It was her time. It was what I authored for her. My hand was in it. And so I could just be free of the heaviness, the guilt, the shame that I carried. And just in that moment, he just came and he set me free with his truth. And it's such a powerful concept, and you can have it. You can literally you can be free of the hold that Satan has in your mind and heart just by allowing God to come into those spaces. And the Holy Spirit breaks the yoke. 2 Corinthians 10:4-5 says, for the weapons of our warfare are not physical. They are not of flesh and blood, right? So it's the Holy Spirit that we need. I didn't know that existed. We had to invite God and his spirit and be intentional about inner healing and deliverance. And he came in that moment and he highlighted the area where there was a hold. And the verse goes on to say, our weapons are divinely powerful for the destruction of fortresses. You have in Jesus everything you need to destroy every hold that the enemy has in your life. It then goes on to say, we are destroying sophisticated arguments and every exalted and proud thing that sets itself up against the true knowledge of God. And we are taking every thought and purpose captive to the obedience of Christ. It's powerful. When you take God and what he purposed and you bring his purpose into every season, whether you are suffering, whether you are experiencing a mountaintop season, and you say, actually, the purpose of the season belongs to God. Where are you in it, Lord? What are you doing? And suddenly he's exalted. And my thoughts, they come under the obedience of Christ, and I have the power to arrest them. That means there needs to be an intentional moment where you are with the Lord and you are saying, Lord, what strongholds do I have? Where has the enemy got a hold because of a lens that I'm living through? And in an instant, he comes and he brings a better word. So trust him today. Do not stay captive to thoughts that are sophisticated arguments against God. Find him, find what he's saying. Seek his face, because the minute you see and you have a glimpse of what he's saying and what he's doing in every place, you are able to demolish, you're able to demolish the hold that the enemy has.